Hi, good evening. Happy Sunday, everybody. I know it's been a while, and I said I was going to do videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So obviously I'm not very good at that, but that's okay. So tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about self-publishing versus traditional publishing. And the reason why is because, my audience is specifically those who are just starting out in the writing industry, and I want to help you guys be as informed as possible. So indie publishing or self-publishing, obviously that's what I have done for the entire 4 years as an author, and I'll tell you the ups and downs of both. But for self-publishing, the ups are maintaining control of your work. Yeah, that's about it. No, I'm just kidding. No, so the ups are maintaining control of your work, having an incredible community of other authors that you can reach out to. Yeah, I guess that would be about it. No, I don't know. I mean, there's more to it than that, obviously, but like when you're self-publishing, you have to find your own cover designer, unless you're somebody that's really good at that. But if you look at it that way, and you look at all the covers that are on Amazon, over 8 million books are published every year. That's what the self-publishing industry has done for people, is that you have more to read than ever before. So finding an artist or finding somebody that you can trust to do your covers is really super important, because you have to make your book stand out above those 8 million bazillion trillion other books that are on Amazon. So that's one of the things you have to do as a self-published author. Also finding editing, which is extremely difficult because a lot of editors cannot be trusted, or they say that they provide a service and then you pay them, and then it turns out that they're really not that great at editing. So if you're gonna go self-publishing, definitely make sure that your editor is on the up and up. I wasn't so fortunate starting out when I was self-publishing, and I went through quite a few editors before I found a couple really good ones, who I'm still friends with, both of them. But right now I am actually taking a break from self-publishing in order to traditional publish, so I'll get back to that in a minute. But another thing is, so you have to find your own cover artist, you have to find your own editor. Something else that people don't know about is the layout of a book. So when you open up a book and you see the pages, and you see if they have like little pretty things on them, or if they have a page number, that's called the layout or formatting of a book. I used to do my own formatting. Unfortunately, although I'm okay with paperback formatting, I'm not so great at the ebook formatting, because everything translates differently once you put it into ebook. And then there is the marketing part of it. So I'm not good at that either, but I'm learning it. But it's really, really hard to do on your own. So for me, when I first started publishing, I originally started with a vanity publisher. And the vanity publisher promised me that they would market, promote, make covers, do the editing, do the formatting. All of that was going to be handled for the low price of $4,000. I know, that's insane, right? And I was vain and stupid, and I went ahead and went with them. And then it turned out that they were, scamming their authors. And so I had to fight to get my rights back at the end of that. So what I learned was, first of all, don't ever pay a publisher to publish your book. Second of all, if you're going to publish, if that's the way you want to go, it's better for you to just do everything on your own. Because if you go to a vanity publisher, and I'm not like, I don't want to, if there's people who are into vanity publishing, which is basically where you pay somebody to do all that work for you, that's, everybody has their own path to take, whatever. But just make sure it's a reputable one. Make sure you're double checking the editing. Make sure you're letting them know if you don't like the cover design, that kind of stuff. Anyways, I have yet to find a vanity publisher that's low cost and affordable. Most of them are $2,000 or more, but you can publish a book on your own for less than $1,000. And if you're fortunate and have somebody who knows how to do editing, or who is like an English major, you can cut off, $500-600 right off the top. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do with that. But I would just encourage you, don't pay a publisher. And if you're going to self-publish, make sure that you're ready for it, because, when people look at your book, everybody says, oh, cover doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the cover. It's such a lie. Like, everybody judges a book by its cover. Everybody. I don't care who they say they are. Everybody judges a book by its cover. So you want to make sure that you have something that's attractive. And if you don't want to stand out, above all the 8 bazillion trillion covers that are on Amazon, you want to at least have a cover that people are going to be like, oh yeah, that's nice. I think I really, would enjoy that book. And so that's why it's important to make sure you have a good cover artist. Make sure your book is edited properly. And make sure you have somebody that can do the formatting for you. Because unfortunately, formatting is very important, especially if you have an ebook. I have a few ebooks that are not formatted correctly, and I get complaints all the time, and it's my fault. I need to take them down and have somebody, fix it for me. I just don't have the money. And number 2, I don't have the time. So that's something I have to work on. Hopefully within the next few weeks or so, I'll get that taken care of. So that's everything self-publishing. If you want to go traditional publishing, now what do I mean by traditional publishing? Back in the day when it was hard for people to get, publishing contract, and when they did, they could sell it for thousands of dollars, and, they were like pretty much rich and famous basically overnight kind of thing. Well, because of the publishing industry the way it is now, and how everybody who has the drive to succeed and to make a book it has made the traditional market much more competitive to get into. What do I mean by that? So if you want to be published traditionally, that means, when I say traditionally, I'm thinking the big 5 publishers. Like, I don't know, if you look at your bookshelf, you'll see that your books are by, there's like a select few, like HarperCollins, Macmillan, oh, my brain is blank right now. But, basically the big publishers. So I'm saying the big 5. If you want to get big 5 published, you really have to know your stuff. And your stories have to be, I'm not going to say like cutting edge, because it's not necessarily that they have to be cutting edge. But they do have to be original. So there's that type of traditional publishing. So what do you do when you traditional publish? Well, basically you write a book. You get it edited, and then you start querying. Querying is when you write letters to different literary agents to see if they'd be interested in signing you, so that they could try to sell your book to a publisher. I don't know a whole lot about that process. I'm actually just starting the querying process. Well, not querying process. I'm actually just starting the process to be traditionally published, because I have been self-published for 4 years. And although I have loved every single minute of it, and I have met so many friends that way, I really want to go traditional, because I think it might give me something that I don't have right now. I'm not sure what that is, but as soon as I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. So, anyways, so with traditional publishing, you have to learn how to write the query letter. There's a lot of like online sites that have outlines for how to write a query letter. Some of them are good and some of them aren't. It just depends on what your agent is looking for. And finding an agent is difficult, but they have sites that list literary agents that you can submit to. So depending how driven you are, once you get your query letter written, you would send that out to agents and then wait for them to reject you. It's basically what the process is. But the thing is, that's great about that, is that you only need one yes. So once you find an agent who's willing to accept you, they will take your proposal and they will try to sell it to a publisher. Now, there are a ton of smaller publishers that you can submit to without an agent. And I think that these are perfectly honorable, and it's perfectly fine to do that. Smaller publishers are going to be well known. Their marketing may not be as extensive as something like, Macmillan or HarperCollins. But they can give you some benefits, like they'll do the editing. Even though you have your book edited, they're going to do more editing. They're going to help you market your book. They're going to help you get book signings, all that kind of stuff. But you're still stuck doing the same stuff you're doing as a self-published author. Oh, book signings. You guys didn't know about that? So as an indie author, self-published author, you are responsible for booking your own gigs, as in booking your book signings, going to coffee shops, letting people know what you write, what you're about. Like, you're responsible for all of that. And I think one of the downsides of that is that without an agent or without a publisher backing you, like publishers, like big bookstores, like Barnes and Nobles. I've done a few, I've done several book signings at Barnes and Nobles, even as an indie author, but, I went in and talked to them and made friends with the outreach manager that does like the events and stuff for the store. So I was very fortunate. But that's not how all Barnes & Nobles are. And also, they have to order their books a certain way. So as an indie author, if you only have your books published through like CreateSpace and Amazon, and you've chosen the free ISBN, then it makes it harder for people to get published. Or I'm sorry, not get published. It makes it harder for Barnes & Nobles to be able to have you in the store, because they can't order your books the way they would normally order other books. And so having an indie author in the store, you have to bring your own books and do like a consignment thing, and I think they get like 40%, and you get 60% of books that you're bringing in that you bought. So even though Barnes & Nobles is great, like, I love it. I love doing book signings there. It's super fun, because you get people coming in who actually want to read books, so it's kind of a win for you and a win for them. But the thing is that if your books have that free ISBN, like I said, they can't order the books themselves. So that's another good thing about having, a publisher behind you. So when I say small publisher, I think I covered that already, but I'll just repeat myself. When I say small publisher, I mean like, there's these smaller publishers that they have an imprint, and, they can do everything for your book. They can do the cover. They can, do the editing and formatting and put your book out for you. But as far as their marketing reach, it's not going to be huge. Not like HarperCollins, for example, or Macmillan, or Penguin House, or Random House, or whatever. So you kind of miss out on that marketing opportunity. But the good thing about it is that you have a partner. You have this product that you want to sell. It's your book. It's you. Basically, you're selling you. And you have somebody else that kind of knows the business and can help you do that a little better. Now, that's where my issue came in, is that if I was going to go published, I wanted to go big or go home. So I chose home, so I self-published. And so now, 4 years later, as I'm struggling and gasping for air below the surface of the water and trying to sell all my books and whatnot, you find that some days it's really tiring. It's really tiring to do the marketing. It's really tiring to do, you do the writing, and then you get it edited, and then you go through that whole process, and you get the cover done, and you do all this work to sell, 7 to 30 copies or whatever on release day. It's like, it's a lot of work. And then it's consistent work after. I don't think that ever stops. I don't think you ever stop working as a self-published author. And not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I love it. But as far as traditional, now my goal, I don't want to sign on with a small publisher. My goal, and this is the difference now, is to get on with hopefully a big 5, or at least maybe one of the smaller 5s that are underneath the big 5. My goal is to get signed on with one of them, so that, I'll have maybe some of their marketing expertise behind it. So that would be an upside of traditional publishing. Once you get an agent, and your agent can sell your manuscript. That's right, they can sell your manuscript. You can get money from this. Not very much, because like I said, the way the market is now, and the way self-publishing has opened up the doors for everybody, there's more books being published a year now than ever before in history. So it is a little bit harder to get seen and to get noticed and picked up by a publisher. Oh, and another reason why I didn't go traditional publishing is I'm not really good with rejection. So 4 years as an indie author has helped me to be a little better about that. But so with traditional publishing, I'm going to have to send out the query letters. I haven't written a query letter in years. because after I did my first querying and got a few rejections, I was like, nope, can't do this. I'm gonna do it my own way, so that way I have control and nobody can tell me no, right? So after you do the query letters and you send them out, it's like you have to do your research and you have to find out, okay, who's the top agents? Who do I want to send this to? And it's more work. It's just more work. And then not only that, but there's no time frame. At least with being self-published, you can say, okay, I wrote this book in a month. I'm gonna get it edited within another month. I'm gonna get it marketed. We're gonna have this out in three months turnaround. With traditional publishing, it is not like that. You write your book, you have somebody edit it, hopefully. You query for an agent. Who knows how long it takes to get an agent? The agent likes your book. They start pushing it to publishing houses, and then you don't know how long it's going to be before somebody says yes. And then after that, then the publishing house has to do their process of editing and getting your book ready, and that can take up to a year. So the process is a lot longer. I have a friend local who I think she told me it took her 10 years from the time she started querying to getting an agent to finding a publisher. It took her 10 years to publish a book. So that is dedication. I'm not sure if I'm that dedicated. I'll probably just go back to self-publishing if that's the case. But so yeah, so I guess some pros to traditional publishing is having somebody do most of the work for you and continue to do the work for you, because the publishers, you know, they'll do marketing and they'll do stuff like that for you. But the problem is that it doesn't matter. You're still going to have to push your book. You're still going to have to do marketing. Why am I going traditional again? No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to keep self-publishing just because I like to have a quick turnaround. And I'm just doing the traditional publishing, hoping that whatever publisher picks me up, if they do, if they don't, I'm hoping that I'm going to learn something and that it'll help kind of broaden my, I don't know, I guess, readership? I don't know if that's the right word. Audience, maybe that's it. I don't know. But I'm hoping it's gonna broaden my knowledge and my perspective and help me learn a few more things so that I can be more successful at self-publishing, so that I can continue to try to help people in whatever limit of capacity that I have. But I think that's about it. So I'm going to post this to my YouTube as usual. If you like what I had to say or don't like what I had to say, you can check out my books on Amazon, or you could check out my YouTube channel, The Wily Wordsmith. I'm kind of funny sometimes. And I guess until next time, thanks for watching, guys.